Okay, Brenda, Jing, I know you're very busy. I know Jing is very busy because you're working right now. So you can watch this at your leisure, on the car, on the way to the office, and decide if it is interesting or it's not an interesting opportunity. Let me show you a mega slide. One slide, easy, no need for additional complexity here, okay? Here, 70% of wealth is allocated to real estate. That's the reality. There's countries like the US where it's lower because people bet on the stock market, but that's the reality for most human beings. Then, where is there a market that I know or I seem to know quite well by now? Okay, Southern Europe is poorly executed and very expensive. Just as an example, now on average, it's 3 to 7%. A lot of the deals go up to 5% commission. Obviously, the higher the amount, it varies. However, the key factor is, just as an example now that we're living, as a buyer, we're being asked to pay 3% as a buyer without any task on the other side. So this is a market ripe for disruption. At the same time, it's very low on tech. There's some players that are doing some tech, but very poorly. It's easy to just run tech solution. You don't even need to actually code anything. You use systems that exist, you aggregate them, you create workflows, and you can do this much more efficiently. Then here is where the points connect. Okay, we have the real estate market. We can build an end-to-end solution, but is that big enough? Potentially, it is big and it could be quite big. However, where it becomes really interesting is understanding that the Chinese capital from middle and middle upper class could be middle and middle upper class Chinese could find a safe haven in Southern Europe. And that safe haven would mean an interface that helps them interact with all this world, because now if you're a rich Chinese, you can pay an expensive lawyer that will help you, or probably will skim something, from your money. But we could build a system that's truly transparent. I know that transparency is a thing that needs to be earned, but we can build it and we can help them navigate the legal system, which if you don't have the right partner, yes, legal systems in Europe are complicated. However, they are fair. They follow, if as long as you follow the rules, you get what the rule of law says. I just want to bring this up because there's a lot of people that are, we can see this in Bangkok, focused on the Thai market, but the Thai market, there's a lot of situations, and I don't need to go into a lot of detail, but even to rent, you have to have a company. To have a company, you have to be 51% Thai owned. And if you don't want to, you actually have to go around the system and you can get skimmed, okay? So we can set up a system that is very clear and transparent, that you get the best fiscal outcomes. Taxes in Europe are high, but they can be much lower if you have the correct setup for international companies, okay? Internationally based companies. Yield, there's a lot of possibilities of high yield because of the tourist market in Spain, but also, and especially interesting long-term, because of the long-term or mid-term residents from the rest of Europe and the world that are doing that are living in Spain. For example, Valencia being a key example. And also we can offer the residence or immigration services depending on what the customer wants. I think this is really big because obviously it's not as clear as closing a deal of a house today or tomorrow, but it is much larger in scale, and this would need ideally a Spanish person who can develop tech and who can work correct with the market. That would be me, and Chinese people with international exposure that could be the faces and the people giving that confidence to the Chinese investors, or at least building a company that can work in that direction. I don't know if it's interesting or not. I leave it to you. I think it's a pretty good opportunity, and I'm happy to work more around it.